If you want to boost your marketing skills, watch this 29-minute crash course where I'm going to show you my favorite and top marketing concepts that all of the gurus use and that allowed me to be able to grow every single part of our business. I've been blessed enough to be able to enroll hundreds of clients, be able to launch 15 online courses, impact millions of people across the world. These are some of the go-to top marketing concepts that I use. All right, number one, write this down. This one is cognitive biases. Cognitive biases. So you may or may not have heard of this concept before, but cognitive biases are really glitches in the human mind. Meaning these are ways that we make decisions. And it may not necessarily be logical. It may not necessarily be always right. But if you can present what you have or your information or what you're looking to persuade somebody in regards to your ideas, if you leverage some of these cognitive biases, this will give you the ability to make your ideas a little bit more accepting. So now there's a ton of them out there. There's literally probably like 30 plus, maybe and even more out there that's been discovered. But I'll just give you a few of the ones that I like to use. One, you probably have heard of social proof, right? So social proof gives you the ability to share something with somebody, but when they see it or they hear about it, they say, oh, wow, this person likes it. That celebrity likes it. This amount of people endorsed it. Oh, wow, this person has a degree, or this person went through that program, or this person put his arm around or put her arm around this person. So a cognitive bias means in that case, the social proof element gets people to be more open to what you have to say, because if other people are accepting of you or accepting of the idea or whatever you're trying to present, then you'll start to get more people on board. This is like, let's say you're driving down the road and you're hungry. You're like, oh man, I want to get something to eat. And so you get off the highway, you're looking at these two restaurants. You've never been to any of them, so you're not really sure which one is the best. But you look at one restaurant and it looks kind of empty. And then you look at the other one and it looks lively. You see cars outside. It looks like the place to be. Now, you may come to the conclusion that, oh, wow, well, that place has more people there. So maybe the fact that there's more people here, there may be something to this place. This might be something more interesting, something more entertaining. You might be wanting to go out, get a bite to eat, enjoy yourself, and you're going to go to the place that look like it's more lively. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever went online and you was trying to figure out what to do for the night, or you're trying to figure out where to go, but as you look through TikTok or you look through their websites, you made part of your decision was, does this place look like the place to go? Maybe you've been on vacation. Does this place look like the place to go? And a lot of times, if you see that there were celebrities there, if you see that there are other people there having a good time, if you see other people endorsing it, oh my God, reviews are a good one. Book reviews, right? You ever thought about deciding to buy a book and you looked at the reviews? Why did you look at the reviews? You ever went to Amazon and you looked at the reviews? Why did you look at the reviews? Because you wanted social proof of other people to say, okay, this is worth spending my money on. This is worth, buying. So that's what cognitive biases do, right? And there's a bunch of them. There's another one that I like to use that's called the recency bias. And I write some of these down for you, right? So we just talked about social proof. Now, the other one I like is called is recency, and I don't want to go over there too much, but so we have the recency bias. I love this bias too, because this is the one that shows, if you show somebody something that happened more recent, then there'll be more, it's more believable, right? So you could say, I've helped somebody. Let's say if you are a coach to help people start businesses. Okay, perfect. You might say, well, I've been helping people for years, and I took a couple of years off, but about 5 years ago, I was helping a lot of business owners be able to start and build their business. So somebody might say, okay, I hear you. Okay, you used to help people. You did it years ago. Or if I said, I was helping somebody last week and they were able to start their business and build it up and do the business plan and, take their business to the next level. Just the fact that I said last week, you're like, oh, nah, this dude is still doing it. He's still active. He's still making it happen. He's still doing it. Why is that more powerful? Because that's called the recency bias. Anytime we see something that happened more recent, we think is more relevant. We think is better. And just because it's recent, that's not always the case. And this is why it's called biases, is because that's not 100% the truth. Just because that is the case, or just because a celebrity endorsed it, or it doesn't even have to be a celebrity, or just because you had a bunch of clients that went through it, don't necessarily mean it was good. Or just because something happened more recent doesn't necessarily mean that it was good. So you got that. Now there's another one too that I want to share as well too, that I was thinking about. Oh, this is one of my other favorite ones too. And then we'll go on to the next. So another cognitive bias, and again, these are strategies that you're going to use in your marketing, right? So another one I like is is what we call the sunk costs, right? The sunk cost bias. Sunk cost bias means when you start telling people what they've already sacrificed, it actually makes it harder for them to say, I don't want to give it up. There's a reason why it's easy to walk away from somebody that just approached you, or you just approach, and if it doesn't work out and you guys don't date, it's like, okay, well, you don't date, right? You went on a first date, you don't date, or maybe you just met for a few minutes and she wasn't feeling you, or whatever the case is, right? Or he wasn't feeling you, or whatever. Then it's easier to break up, right? It's like, okay, we can go. Sunk cost fallacy says, oh no, we've been married for 30 years. It's much harder to break up a relationship for 30 years than 30 seconds, right? That's what sunk cost fallacy is. So when you're doing your marketing, or you're putting out your content, or you're speaking and you're persuading somebody of an argument of what you're trying to say, and you say, look, you've already invested time and energy into this business. You've already invested, thousands of dollars in it. You've been flying across the country, flying and going to these different events, live events. How many books have you read on this? How many hours of your life that you cannot get back? Because time is the most valuable resource. How many hours of your life you can't get back because you've been watching podcasts, you've been watching YouTube videos, you've been reading books, you've been spending all of this time and this energy into this business to give up now? You say something like that, they're gonna be like, damn, you're right. Now that's what sunk cost bias is playing into that fact. There's a lot more. If you want to look up more, definitely look up cognitive biases. But when you start to add an element of these things into your marketing and your content, it's going to make it way more compelling, and more people are going to be persuaded. All right. So that is number one. These are the things that took me years to learn, but I want you to start using it. Don't just say, wow, this is a cool concept. I want you to use it. Use this stuff, please. All right. Number two, second concept I like case studies. Number two, I like case studies. Okay. So case studies is a little bit different than testimonials. So you have case studies and you have testimonials. You could put testimonials here too. And I actually put that for you, right? Testimonials. All right. So case studies and testimonials. Now there's a difference between both of these. A testimonial is more, hey, I work with Sasha, she was great. She really helped me, get clients in my business, and it was amazing. That's a testimonial. A case study is, when I started working more with Sasha, before I started working with Sasha, I was just struggling for the last 5 years. I couldn't get myself to get off my butt and start this business, so I was really looking for some solutions online. I ended up connecting with Sasha on Facebook. We had a conversation. I ended up enrolling in a program. Within 90 days, she helped me set up everything I need to set up with my business. And I was able to get a couple clients, and I made a few $1,000s in 90 days working with Sasha. That's a case study. It's like you're telling the whole story. You're giving context. Testimonials don't necessarily give the context. When you could tell a story to give context, that works really well. So anytime you could give context to a case study, you want to be able to do that. But these work. You got somebody else saying, hey, this worked for me, this helped, whatever. So if you can use that more in your marketing, that's going to work well. Where to use this? Anytime you're doing lives, anytime you're doing trainings, you can send this out in your emails. You could talk about this in your content, and you could talk about this in your reels or your clips. Anywhere where you're communicating with somebody else that's relevant in terms of content. Why don't you throw some case studies in there? Throw in somebody that you've helped. They don't always have to be somebody, who got the biggest and best results. And it doesn't always have to be somebody who even paid you. But if you can talk about somebody that got some type of positive results from you, that's what's going to make it more compelling. So when you're doing this right, you're going to start noticing more people who are more interested in what you're saying. Like, wow, if you can help them, you can help me. That's what you want them to say to themselves as they're watching your content. All right, so that is number 2, right? So that's case studies and testimonials. Start sprinkling this in your content and more of what you do. All right, let's keep this moving. Number three. Oh, this one is a fun one. And I don't even talk about this one much, but this is key, right? And I'm going to put a little arrow just so you know. All right, so this one is called change the buying criteria. Change the buying criteria. Change the buying criteria. It's so funny. This concept right here, I learned this from a guy named I lost his name that quick. Chet Holmes, right? So Chet Holmes, when you think about Tony Robbins, when you think about Jay Abraham, when you think about a guy who's one of the smartest marketing minds like in the business, who worked with some of the biggest companies in the world, rest in peace, he's passed away. But he was in a place where like he had literally a marketing company that was unknown, blew it up, started working with all of these great influencers and big companies. And he was able to do it because of how great he was in marketing. And it was a concept that he talked about called change the buying criteria. So and by the way, this is in a book, write this down. This is in a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine. I might have it over here somewhere. I know I have it. It's somewhere right here. It's called The Ultimate Sales Machine. So in that book, he talks about changing. Now, what that really means is when you're working with your clients, it's very important, or potential clients, it's very important to have them tell them how they need to make a buying decision. Because a lot of people, they don't really even know how to make decisions on what to buy. They kind of just do what they feel, or they gut, or they heart, or they pray, but they don't really have a logical decision-making process. But if you gave your audience if you told your audience how to make decisions in terms of what to buy, you can actually frame that in a way where you're put in the best light. So like, for example, let's say if I was doing this for our marketing agency. I have a marketing agency that's called Mass Attention Marketing, where we work with coaches and specialize in helping them generate leads. That's literally all we do. And we help with, and that's who we help them with. Now, I'll come across people sometime that'll say, yeah, but I have somebody who's already have an agency that's running that has that's doing the lead generation for us, and they running paid advertising because we do a lot with Facebook ads. He said, I had one person I spoke to, and he said, yeah, I got somebody overseas, and they're doing it for cheap, and and that's what they're doing to get us leads. And I said, okay. I said, well, how's that working for you? He's like, well, it's okay. We're trying to figure some things out. And I said, all right, here's the challenge. I said, anytime you're working with a marketing agency that's going to do lead generation specifically for coaches, there's some things that you need to check off the box before you buy from them. Change the buying criteria. I said, one, you need somebody who's already been a coach. Doesn't it make sense to have somebody who's already in the industry? So I have, at the time we're doing this, I've been doing this, actually the year of it has been doing it since 2015, right? So I've been coaching since 2015. So at the time we're doing this right now, it was 9 years. Okay, that's number one. What else? I've been, we've already brought in 200 plus coaches through our PCS certification coaching program. So I'm like, one, you need to have somebody who's been in the industry because they know how to communicate to other coaches because I am one, or they are one. But then also you need to have somebody who's actually used the methods effectively via ads, which we have, to be able to get clients. So if you have an agency that's helping everybody under the sun, real estate, and they're helping people with solar, and they're helping restaurant owners, and they're helping digital digital products, and they're doing all of these other things, but they haven't specialized in coaching services for our business and our industry, you're already at a losing battle because they don't have as much experience. That's like saying I'm gonna hire a generalist over a specialist. That don't make sense. You're not going to go to your general family doctor over a specialist of somebody. This is all they do. This is what we do. This is all we do. Now, what did I do? I changed the buying criteria, and I showed them like, actually, it does make sense to work with a specialist, right? Which is true, but that's not how they make decisions, though. They're making decisions based off of the cheapest, not from the best. Does that make sense? But when you can help them change it and say, oh no, actually you need to be thinking about the best so you can get results and you don't waste your money and waste your time, then it's like, that makes sense, right? Change the buying criteria. So that's something that you want to start doing too. Start telling people how to make decisions. Start telling people what they need to look for, the things they need to do in order to get results. All right, so that is number 3. So do this more. Just be more conscious of it, of telling people how to make decisions. Not just telling them what to do, but tell them how to make the decisions of what to do. All right, great. All right, what's next? We got number 4. You loving this? This is good? I hope this is good. All right, then number 4, you always want to be doing this. You want to break beliefs. Break beliefs. Always want to break beliefs, because you have a lot of people that are in your industry that they think this is right, or they was holding them back as this because, this is what they thought. Or so you got to remember, anytime somebody's not getting results, there's a reason they're not getting results. It's because there's some belief or something that they believe or they're thinking about that's holding them back from taking action. I remember when I first, I changed my niche a few different times, but one of the things that held me back initially from talking to people was, people, why they want to listen to me? They are busy. They with their family. They don't want to hear what I got to say. It's not important. And because of that, one of the things that it did is it stopped me from actually talking to the people that I need to help. Another belief that I had was, I don't want to put, I'm afraid to put out the content because people are going to judge me. They're going to troll me. They're going to put things under my comments, and it's going to make me feel bad, and they don't want to hear what I got to say. And so I had a lot of limiting beliefs, and these limiting beliefs stopped me from building my business. It stopped me from helping people. I wouldn't be able to help and do the things we're doing today if I didn't break those beliefs. So one of the best things you can do is break these limiting beliefs from your people. So what does that really look like? You got to mention what the limiting belief is. You got to tell them why that belief isn't correct. You got to tell them what the correct belief is. You got to really give them the background why it's correct. If you have any kind of social proof or results or testimonials or anything that can help them see that belief in a different way, then that would make them, that will break it for them. You know what I mean? So you want to be able to do that. So tell stories, give testimonials, so like, for example, if I was trying to break somebody's belief of following up with people because, I don't want to be salesy, right? It's one of the things people say, I don't want to be salesy. So they think, I don't want to reach out to anybody because that's being salesy. And I would say, look, and I understand because that used to be me. I never wanted to reach out to anybody, but I realized that I had to be able to do that in order to really change lives. See, the reason why, if you don't do that, then you're not helping anybody. So that actually defeats the whole purpose of being a coach and wanting to change lives, is because you actually need to speak to more people in order to change their life. So actually what you need to be thinking is, how do I reach out to more people in a way that's cool, that's chill, that's supportive, not salesy. You want supportive, not salesy. Because if somebody comes up to you supportive and they genuinely looking to help, it's not to sell you on anything. It's they genuinely looking to help. Aren't you going to be more open to it? I would, wouldn't you? Right? So it's all about the approach of how you do it, because I can tell you that when I actually started reaching out, I was fearful, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I mustered up the courage, and then I started reaching out, and I started the follow up, and I made the calls, and guess what I started hearing? Oh my God, thank you so much, Coach T. You like, nobody reaches out to me. Thank you so much. Nobody cares to help. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for taking the time, because everybody else is doing it through automation, or they got somebody else calling, or this or that. But I appreciate you for taking the time out your day to really check on me and help me out. Wow. Yeah, well, really? Okay. Thank you. And then that started to change my belief in terms of, actually, it's all about how you approach it. It ain't the fact that you're connecting with them to be salesy. It's all about how you connect with them and the approach of how you do it. So that's how I would break a belief, right? So you got to break beliefs. So don't just get caught up in the mode of I'm teaching my points and my steps. Also break the beliefs that they have around it. If they have money beliefs that's limiting them, time beliefs, anything specific to whatever your niche is, anything that's holding them back or slowing them down from actually doing it, you got to also break those beliefs and pay just as much attention to the limiting beliefs they have, to the actual steps you want them to take. This is big stuff. And these are things that I do all the time. So this is very key. All right. Then last but not least is, and this one is a good one too. This one we call is intentional. Hold on. Oh, there you go. Intentional emotion. Intentional emotion. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. on my penmanship. All right, intentional emotion. So intentional emotion is, write this down. You ever heard somebody say it the way that you want it to be heard? I want you to write this down. Say it and show it the way that you want it to be heard. When we're communicating, one of the biggest challenges is that we'll communicate in a way, verbally or non-verbally, that goes against the intention of what we want. Remember, part of being persuasive in helping somebody, which is what you want to do in your marketing, is how people interpret what you're saying. So people are going to feel, and people are going to interpret what you want them to interpret based on what you're communicating. So if you're communicating fear, what does that say to somebody? You ever saw somebody on stage and they're fearful, and maybe they're shaking, and they're stumbling over their words, and oh my God, I'm nervous. What does that do? A lot of times that takes away from the messaging that they want you to have, that wastes time, but then also it takes you out of the mode of actually learning, because now you're focused more on that instead of being impacted with what they said, right? Maybe you might be feeling nervous for them too, so you start feeling those emotions. But if somebody approaches you confidently, or if they speaking confidently from on video or wherever, you're more focused on the message than anything else. And then if however I'm communicating to you is how you're going to interpret it and how you're going to feel. So if you want somebody to feel confident, talk confidently. Because you want them to say, I believe this person. A lot of times it's not just the things that you say. Majority of communication, what they say, 93% of communication is nonverbal. So it's how you say. You could be trying to deliver a message, but if the way that if you don't even sound confident, or how you sound is not the intention of what you're trying to get across, then that will throw somebody off. So our goal when we're marketing is really to help somebody see our way of thinking, to help empower them in some kind of way or take some kind of action. So anytime you're saying something, say it in a way that you want it to be heard. I'm like, I got a little toddler, right? And one of the things is I noticed that when I'm saying something in a playful way or in a joking manner, he won't take it serious. I say, go JJ, go clean up your toys, man. Go clean up your toys. Right? He ain't paying me no mind. Like he not taking it serious, because if I'm smiling, I'm like, JJ, man, go clean up your toys, man. Go do this, man. Right? So because if I do it like that, he's not going to take it serious, and I'm going to have to tell him 25,000 times. But if I say, JJ, go clean up your toys, that proves, oh, I'm commanding, oh, he's not playing. He's serious. He's not playing, right? Intentional emotion. Be intentional about the emotion that you want people to feel. If you want it to be serious, or you want them to feel confidence, prove that. If you want them to laugh, do it in that way. If you want them to feel happy or joyful or excited, be excited. Like if you're excited, like, yo, oh my God, let me share something with you. This is something that's really going to change your life, because when the light bulb went off for me, oh my God, things started changing, and I started to get clients. Like I started to notice I had more energy throughout the day. I started to notice like people were really like reaching out to me for help. And that's because I did this thing that I'm getting ready to tell you to do. How does that make you feel? You're like, yeah, I felt a little excited with that. I like that, right? Why? Because I was intentional about the emotion that I gave you. So be more intentional about the emotion. Like, don't just be bland, even like I said, if you're doing content, don't just be bland and just kind of give the content is whatever, yeah. And you're just going through the motions. Don't ever go through the motions. Be intentional about the emotion that you want them to feel. I guarantee you start doing this, you're going to start getting a better response from what you're doing. All right. So one, we're going to focus on cognitive biases. Some of the ones I like is the social proof, the recency, and the sunk cost bias. Number two is I like case studies and testimonials. So start putting those out there even more. You're going to start noticing more people are going to be more receptive to your marketing. Change the buying criteria. Start telling people how to make decisions. Right. So you want to be able to do that. And if you're smart, it's going to make kind of favorable to what you can do and what you can offer. Number four is you're going to break beliefs. So people have limiting beliefs. So start breaking those beliefs around it. And then now people are going to be way more open and willing to take action, because people are going to pump fake and hesitate if they still got these beliefs in the back of their mind that they can't do it because it is, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the time. But if you can say, hold up. No, you can find the money. Hold up. What you mean you ain't got the time? The best people that get the best results are the people that don't have no time, because they take their time the most serious, right? The people who got all the time in the world are the people that don't get nothing done. Those are the biggest procrastinators. The people that get things done, those are the people that's like, yo, I only got an hour. Let me stop playing. Those are the people that get things done. You'd be like, damn, he's right. What'd I do? Right? I broke your belief around that. I broke your belief around I'm busy, so I can't get anything done. You'll get better at this over time, but this is really key. And then intentional emotion. Be intentional about the emotion that you give. Be intentional about it. Like, our goal is we want to influence people to change their life. So be intentional about it, right? And the more that you're intentional about it, the more they're actually going to feel what you're saying. Anytime that you're incongruent, like you're saying one thing, but what you're communicating is something different, then that's going to throw people off. So you got to be clear in your emotion and your intent. You do these things, you're going to take it to the next level. All right. So I hope you like this. If you did, go ahead and subscribe to this. Go ahead and give this some likes, and go ahead and share this, by the way. Go ahead and share this with somebody. Let me know if this is helpful, because these are the things that help me impact millions of people. This helped make my advertising amazing.